Headset on. Yes, I hear Tony. Yes. Okay. All right. It's the best rivalry in American soccer, and tonight, for the first time in 2016, it's the USL version as Portland Timbers 2 hosts Seattle Sounders 2 on a brisk Thursday night in the Rose City at Providence Park. Good evening and welcome inside of Providence Park. Jake Zibin alongside Ross Smith. I don't care if it's at the Major League Soccer level or all the way down to the U14s in the academy. Ross, when it's Seattle versus Portland, there's always just something a little bit extra on the pitch.
I think any soccer mind across North America knows about Sounders versus Timbers. And while we talk about at this level the Timbers 2 and the Sounders 2 at USL, it's about development. I wouldn't be surprised if there's conversations going around that locker room explaining the importance and the value of a win tonight.
Portland Timbers 2 and Seattle Sounders 2 played 5 times last season. Sounders 2 won all of those 5 matchups, including once in the U.S. Open Cup. T2 certainly out for a little bit of revenge in the first rivalry match of 2016. Andrew Greger, the head coach for T2, he's played on both sides of these rivalries and now coaching at the USL level for T2 for the first time. Ross, you've played in this match, in this game, Portland versus Seattle. What does it mean?
I think you want your players to learn about what this rivalry is all about. You want them to know what a tasty tackle looks like. You want them to know what a little bit of bite and sometimes anger in your blood is all about, but being able to control those emotions at the same time. So you're going to want to see that intensity out of your players, but you're going to want them at this young level to learn how to control that intensity and use that to their advantage on the pitch.
Starting lineups and kickoff between Sounders 2 and Timbers 2 when we come back.
The world is a curious place, full of puzzles still waiting to be solved. Stonehenge, the pyramids, Easter Island, and today, another enigma rises out of the clouds. Who is the face on the tail?
This car wasn't made in Detroit, or Tokyo, or Mexico City. This, the Mini Clubman, was crafted in Oxford, England, a place where mass production isn't all that massive. And each car is engineered, customized, tuned, and crafted one at a time. Introducing the new Mini Clubman, made in Oxford.
Mini of Portland, proud sponsor of the Portland Thorns and Timbers 2. We make it fun.
There's just one way to improve taco night. A practically spill-proof crust. Practically. Spice up dinner with a large home-baked Papa Murphy's Taco Grande. Your choice of ground beef or grilled chicken, just $11. Order online at papamurphys.com. Papa Murphy's, love at 425 degrees.
It's our 5th annual Stand Together Week, and you're invited to celebrate by teaming up with your favorite Timbers and Thorns player to give back to our community. Since 2011, we've logged over 10,000 hours of service at more than 130 events benefiting youth and the environment. It's going to be another special week in 2016. Sign up at ptstandtogether.com to save your spot. Together we can give, unite, and inspire.
TIFO for every Seattle-Portland match, even at the USL level. There is something special about this rivalry, no matter who's playing. If it's the MLS sides, the USL sides, all the way down to the academy, as Andrew Greger gets his side ready to take on Seattle Sounders 2 for the first time in the 2016 season. Nico Brett Ross made his MLS debut for the Timbers on Sunday, back with T2 tonight.
I thought against Whitecaps 2 in the USL last match, Nico Brett, he was exciting. The first half especially, he really had the game by the scruff of the neck. You want to see that prolonged, or you want to see him have that big impact for the entirety of the match.
That's the rest of Andrew Greger's starting lineup tonight for Portland Timbers 2. 2 academy players starting at outside back. Terrell Lowe on the right, Marco Farfan on the left. Seattle Sounders 2, coached by Ezra Hendrickson. They've struggled this year after making the playoffs in their first season a year ago. Just 1-5-4, 7 points, last place in the Western Conference.
Look at the formation that will come out, a 4-3-3, very similar to what the first team, the senior team, does play, but the styles may alter very slightly. Looking forward to seeing the man in the middle up front who scored 2 goals for Sounders too, Mansour, just to see how he plays. But getting back to the style, a lot of good things I hear out of this camp about Ezra Hendrickson and his coaching staff. They really enforce and want to implement the right way of playing it. So I'm looking forward to seeing their style up against Andrew Gregor's style tonight. Andrew
Gregor played on both sides of this rivalry back in the USL days for the Portland Timbers and for the Seattle Sounders. Nick Besler, his captain today, as T2 tries to get back on the winning side of things after a loss to Vancouver last week right here at Providence Park. Kendall McIntosh making his 5th start for Portland Timbers 2 in goal. It's a very nice Thursday evening in the Rose City as T2 and S2 get ready for their first meeting of 2016. We are underway from Providence Park. Marco Farfan loses it on the touchline. S2 coming forward. Mansour's in the middle. Farfan wins it back. Still a junior in high school, member of the Timbers Academy, Marco Farfan has started every match for T2. Certainly one of the bright spots in the first 10 games of the season for Andrew Gregor. Belmar and Brett just not quite on the same page there. Nuhu Tolo, his first season with Sounders 2, one of 2 Cameroonian players in the starting 11 for Sounders 2 today. Marco Chong as well. Patino broken up by Farfan. Mathers does well to turn in the midfield. Zach Mathers coming forward for Sounders 2. Kendall McIntosh, strong hands to make the save.
Good strong run by Mathers. He's broke out of midfield. Decided from 35 yards to have a go. Just the hands of McIntosh early on.
Trevor Morley making his first start at home for T2, second start this season. Belmar trying to flick it on towards Bijev. Lyon just has to get it clear.
See early on, little challenge that's gone in. Then Polk getting up, didn't see much in there. Arms were down by his side. Wasn't in an unnatural position. Wondering what the referee saw.
Patino lost it. Lewis, nifty backheel to get it to Farfan. Sent down the line into space. Ben Polk running after it, as is Toby Nohope. Nohope's able to shield Polk away and let it run out for a throw. Nohope, the lone Sounders Academy player in the starting 11 today. T2 starting 2 of their Academy players. In the USL, you're allowed to play members of your team's Academy and they still retain their amateur status. Nohope committed to play at Denver University in the fall. Besler looking for Brett. Tolo comes over to send it out into touch.
just looking at the midfield for Seattle Sounders 2 and how they're going to play, and see Zach Mathers, he's putting himself about in that central area. He's more in an advanced position than O'Shawn, and as well, Schweitzer looks to be the man alongside Mathers as well, almost so you have an upside down triangle in that center of midfield area. Samuel, who we see nearest to us, looks to be operating on the left side of a 3 with Mansouré in the middle, on the far side Patino. It does look to be the 4-3-3 that we had predicted coming into this, that we had planned for coming in. Obviously Mansouré looks to be furthest forward, that sort of target man, that pillar up front that you can play balls into.
Mansouré is the only player on Seattle this season that has scored multiple goals. The Sounders, too, have really struggled to score this year. Just 6 goals in 10 matches. Ben Polk takes advantage of a giveaway, and it took a fortunate deflection off of Devin Fisher, the former Timbers 2 player, and it went into the arms of Charlie Lyon. Samuel making a run down the line. Morley comes over to send it into touch.
Looking forward to seeing Morley's relationship with Gallagher, him coming into the side tonight, seeing him preseason with the first team and the minutes that he got with Caleb Porter on the sidelines. I thought Morley did himself justice. I thought he showed himself to be very capable and the type of center half that likes to go and win it and come off his line.
Andre Lewis out wide to Farfan, the left back coming forward for T2. First time cross is sent out for the first corner kick of the match.
I thought Farfan in spells last match looked very exciting, it looked very direct, looked very confident, and that's good from him early on to sort of push back Patino, to get into the attacking half and force Patino to come back and backtrack with him.
Seems like the 17-year-old Farfan has just grown with confidence.
And credit to Patino because he was willing to run all the way back to get the blocking.
Nico Brett to take the corner. Floated into the box. Header won by Seattle. Lewis tries a volley. Kept it down but couldn't put it on frame. And now Samuel tracked by Terrell Lowe. And that went out. It'll be a T2 throw.
Terrell Lowe is no slouch with his pace. Seen him up in the first team training and at times going into the central midfield area, and he's gone up against the names of Darlington Nagbe, who seemed to have blown up Twitter last night with his goal for the US men's national team. I've seen Lowe go up against Nagbe, and I tell you, he doesn't give a lot away for pace. I was so impressed with his athleticism and his range to get along the pitch, and he just showed it there. Just as Samuel was trying to release from him and try and break away, Lowe was right there with him.
Terrell Lowe is 18 years old, member of the Timbers Academy. Finishing up his senior year in high school, he'll play at the University of Virginia in the fall. Morley looking for Belmar over the top. Heavy touch from Tolo. Concedes a deep throw.
Well, just seen no hope for Sounders 2. Number 50, he was looking to keep a high line there. You're going to have to be very careful against a guy like Carlton Belmar because he likes to play off that shoulder, get his timing right. He's got plenty of space, so if he gets away from you and you don't get that line right, he's away.
Terrell Lowe was offside when he received the ball back from Ben Polk after the throw-in. Lowe was making his 4th start of the season. He was a sub last week after starting 2 in a row. His natural position is probably in the defensive midfield, but he's had a good amount of playing time at right back for T2 this year. Devin Fisher brings it down. Patino.
Strong ball by Nelson. The left center back there, just getting out of his feet, switching that play. I think you can see the style early on in terms of encouragement to play and the want from the coaching staff to get the ball down and to look for options and to be able to play your way out of trouble. Like to see tonight, Jake, just the combination play and that relationship building between Carlton Belmar and Bichef. Bichef playing in that sort of number 10 role. Looks to drift up beside Carlton Belmar at times, but didn't think we saw enough of Bijev in the last match. Want to see him getting on the ball because he is very technical. He does have a clever mind, but you want to see more of it.
Saw a lot of Nico Brett, especially in the first half last week. That came off Brett, and it's a throw for Seattle.
Well, there was his power that I think really grabbed you, and you really impressed by the running power of Nico Brett when he got on the ball, and he looked very positive. He was always looking up the pitch, and he was always looking to create something. And I thought he lost that a little bit the second half. His influence wasn't as strong, but the first half certainly, every time he got on the ball, it was as though he felt he could make a difference. And you talk about attacking players and their influence on the game, and I think the questions you ask, well, how many positive passes did you make? How many big chances did you create? And if you go back to that first half, I think Nico Brett would come off at halftime and said, well, quite a lot. Second half, it was different. And so his progression would be tonight. 90 minutes is a full body of work. Can you put that shift in what we saw first half into the second?
It was enough, his performance on Friday, to earn a debut in Major League Soccer. He came on late in the Timbers' 4-2 win over Vancouver in stoppage time. And that seemed like a reward of sorts for his strong play with T2 this year.
I think that's so important. And what that does, it sends a message to every single player. And I bet you that Andrew Gregor's players would all of a sudden be encouraged at training, thinking, we saw what happened with Nico Brett. That could be me. And so if I'm getting it done here on game days, of course on the training pitch, but when it comes to the game days, I'm going to be rewarded.
Andre Lewis is down. Slight look maybe of concern on the face of his head coach, Andrew Gregor. Lewis missed the loss at Colorado Springs with an injury a couple weeks ago. Came back into the lineup last week against Vancouver.
He's taken a couple little knocks there, whether he's just felt a little tweak. It's only in the end where he's pulled up and he's just clutched that. It was the side of his back, but he definitely felt a little tweak, it looked like.
Ezra Hendrickson, the second-year Seattle Sounders 2 head coach, gives his instructions to Myron Samuel, his fellow countryman. Ezra Hendrickson played 12 seasons in MLS. Sounders assistant for 6 seasons before becoming the Sounders 2 head coach in their inaugural year. As T2 trainer Taichi Kitagawa takes a look at Andre Lewis. First 10 minutes of this match or so, Ross, what are your impressions?
Both styles and the way of playing the game. Both teams are wanting to get the ball down there. They're wanting to just feel each other out at the same time. I think you're early on and you're expecting some nerves. Teams playing in this cavernous stadium. You've got 21,000 plus seats here, and you're getting more bodies coming out, so there's going to be nerves. There's going to be nerves coming out here, more attention on the Seattle Timbers rivalry, and so I think as much as we want to see the styles come out, it probably won't come out until later in the game, once the nerves start to calm a little bit and players wrap their heads around this game.
It appears that T2 is going to have to make an early change as Seth Kasipli gets his game jersey on, with Andre Lewis walking a bit gingerly back to the T2 bench. Obviously, Ross, you never want an injury, and especially early on in a match. What does it do to a team when you're forced to make a change at this juncture in the match? You come out with a game plan. Does this disrupt that?
I think this is where the work on the training ground really shows, because it shouldn't change anything. The next player coming in, obviously there's a different skill set, but the teammates around should know what the player coming in has to offer, what Kasipli has to offer coming in. And so, yeah, you'll have to alter things slightly with it, but the work goes in at the training ground, and so you shouldn't miss the beat. You should know where your strengths are, where the areas you need to watch for, but how that style will resume, because all the players should be well tuned.
Another look, it was non-contact, it appeared. And Andre Lewis just pulled up, grasped at his lower back, and eventually now has to come out of the game. So the first of 5 available substitutions for Andrew Gregor tonight is used in the 14th minute as Seth Kasipli comes in for Andre Lewis. It's the 4th appearance of the season for Kasipli.
It'll be important for Kasipli to get touches on the ball early on, get up to the pace of the game. You don't expect to come in when you're a substitute so early on and you're sitting on the bench after your warm-ups and you're just having a look onto the pitch, and then all of a sudden you're quickly thrust in, and as we see a wayward pass by Kasiple, so important to get up to the pace of the game quick.
Sounders True coming forward. Samuel, a great cutback, leaves it. Shot is deflected and will go out for a corner kick. A good opportunity for Mark Oshong moments after the substitution.
A nice little bit of skill by Samuel. He got on the ball and then he cut it across. Nice little shot as he found Oshong making up a late run. Jim Farfan, the last second, getting to the edge, getting a block.
Zach Mathers will take the corner to the near post. Flick on didn't quite work. Still there maybe for Sounders too. That was an ambitious effort from Nuhu Tolo. Never had much of a chance.
Doesn't seem to lack confidence, does he? Taking it from such a distance away. And that's where I think you can see signs of the psychology of players, that they're told to be brave, but maybe a little bit too encouraged at that moment.
Jordan Schweitzer sends it forward. Michael Gallagher brings it down. Morley under some pressure from Mansoret. Now Terrell Lowe. Out of the reach of Kasiple. It's a giveaway. Oshong from distance, blocked by Gallagher. Schweitzer wide to Samuel. Not on the same page as Mansoret. And now T2 will come forward. Bijev into space for the speedy Carlton Belmar. Nelson beats him to the ball, plays it out for a throw.
Well, it's the first time we've seen a ball into Bijev, a ball out to Carlton Belmar, and we talk about the connection between those two being vital. And the last miscue from Terrell Lowe into Kasiple.
Good ball from Beasler, picks out Farfan. He wanted a handball. Patino played it out for a throw.
Back to that point, I thought there was a couple opportunities for T2 to look up the pitch and find that entry pass into Carlton Belmar, and they ended up deciding to go without that. Ball into Kasiple, and it's a turnover. And I think that's where Andrew Gregor likes to encourage his men to look up that pitch and find that entry pass, find that striker coming off that line, coming to feet, and then you play off it.
Devin Fisher played last season for T2, joined the team in August, played in 4 matches at the end of the year, and then in the offseason went over to Sounders 2, where he has played 8 matches this season. Samuel gets around low, kept it in play, and then did well. Coming into the box, Samuel, a dangerous ball, and McIntosh makes the save. Fantastic opportunity for Seattle. It looked like Mansoret was going to have a tap in, and Oshong's follow was dealt with well by McIntosh.
Well, Samuel's been having his way down this left-hand side, and he does well to evade the challenge of Lowe. Coming in, and then he picks his head up, and he's trying to fizz that ball across the face of goal. And Oshong feels as though he should have done better. But fortunately, T2 had a blocking.
Mathers again to the near post. Schweitzer tried to keep it in play, was unable to. And it came off a T2 defender. It'll be another corner.
The momentum has shifted towards Sounders 2 over these last 5 minutes or so.
Ben Polk wins this header at the near post. Mathers and Kasiple in a foot race. Mathers gets to it. Broken up by Brett. Mathers won it back, played it off Brett. It'll be a throw for Seattle.
Just wondered whether there was a shout at handball. Was it off the back? The ball there, and regardless, T2 unable to clear their lines. As Sounders 2 are looking to camp in on the attacking half.
Patino has Fisher overlapping, cuts inside instead. Mansoret.
Just see when Mansoret goes out, they had no runners coming in the box. Nowhere to put the ball in. He was looking for options.
Nelson a little bit too much ahead of Tolo.
just feel as though T2 are sitting off a little bit too much. They're not getting in the faces of Sounders 2. They're not disrupting them. They're not getting, what you would say, in amongst them. And we talk about that rivalry, and Andrew Greger, who has played in these before, he'll be reminding those players, you get stuck in, you make your tackles count every single time, you get nice and tight to your man, and you don't allow them to play. Because right now, Sounders 2, they're building in confidence, and you can see that with their movement, with them taking an extra touch and willing to welcome and invite players coming towards them and then popping it off.
Kasipli into space looking for Belmar, trying to get behind No Hope. Couple runners. Belmar decides to take it himself. Now finds Brett. Defended well by Nuho Tolo. Oh, nifty flick from Brett, and he wins a corner.
Well, nice bit of forward play, counter-attacking play by T2 to get it into Carlton Belmar. But I have to say, it was good organization, good defensive unit help from the center backs. Was No Hope first, forcing Carlton Belmar to take an extra touch inside, and then Nelson was quick to support him and force Carlton Belmar to have one extra pass.
Farfan curls it in. It's easy for Charlie Lyon. Lyon releases quickly, but had Mansoret, threw it a little bit too far ahead of Victor Mansoret, as the break looked like it would have been on for Seattle. And then Fisher misplays it out for a T2 throw.
That last ball from, or to release Carlton Belmar, came from Kasipli, and so it's a good encouraging sign after a couple miscues from him. Just wondering if he's starting to find his feet.
Is it difficult to, as a player, to come into the match 12th minute when you're expecting to start out on the bench and realistically, if everything goes to plan, probably not come in for at least until the second half?
I would say the area of the pitch which is most difficult would be a midfielder.
Farfan into the box, headed clear. Beasler brings it down towards Bijev, touch around Tolo. And a free kick coming for T2 in a dangerous spot.
Well, Tolo has swiped in here as Bijev got a touch on the ball. And Tolo, he arrives late. Just as that ball drops down and it comes into Bijev, he gets that toe, and Tolo, he comes across his path. It's a good area for T2 to line that ball up.
Brett, Belmar, Polk discussing who gets to take this free kick.
Well, the opposite end of the pitch, we saw Darlington Nagbe hit one of these from a similar angle, of course going towards the other goal, and I think this actually favors a left footer, Ben Polk, but it looks as though Nico Brett is lining up just the way he placed the ball. Perhaps trying to bend it up and over that wall. The keeper's got a lot of bodies to try and look through.
It will be Ben Polk, put it right into the wall. Still might fall to Polk. It does not, and it's out for a throw.
I just thought it favored a left footer because there's more of the goal to shoot at with his left foot, but he only got halfway up the wall. He couldn't get the height right.
Low settles, sends it into the box. Poor clearance, Nico Brett just wide. No Hope left it there for Brett, and he couldn't quite keep it on frame.
He's tried to be so pinpoint with this. I don't think it needed as direct a placement as Nico Brett was looking for. He's cut across that ball, and you can see a little bit of a swerve, a little bit of a tail in that ball, but it wasn't enough distance for him to try and get that direction and swerve it back into the goal. A great effort, great power. If he just kept it on frame, you have to think T2 would have been up 1-0. This is almost as though Nico Brett was trying to pick out an exact square in that net, in that side netting, and again from that distance, I think enough power on it would have caused problems.
Belmar gets there before No Hope. Trying to find Beasler. It was broken up by Oshong. Still there for T2.
Well, it's given them a lift, hasn't it? That free kick now, all of a sudden, more numbers are getting forward. Guys are coming back towards the ball.
Bijev from distance! Viljan Bijev opens the scoring for T2. His first goal in Portland, and it was a spectacular strike.
And you talk about that heightened confidence, and there was no doubt in Bijev's mind where that ball was going to end up. Just as it comes to his feet, look how he takes that on first time. He opens up his body, he knows where the goal is, he doesn't need to have a look, and he puts his foot right through the middle of that ball. It is dipping, it is swerving, and it's enough to take it beyond the Sounders 2 keeper to put T2 up 1-0. What a hit that was.
That's certainly what T2 wanted from Viljan Bijev when they brought him in this season. His first goal comes in his 10th match of the year. Has 2 assists this season for T2, but has been unable to find the back of the net.
It was as though it was autopilot for him. As soon as he got that ball coming into him, the way he just opened up, it was just a matter of formality from that point. And that's where players almost go into that second nature, to that feel where it just comes off and there's no question in their mind. It looks so natural to Bijev. I think that's what we've been waiting to see more of. Get glimpses of it in games. You certainly see more of it at training, but you want it to come out more and more longer stretches in games.
He has quite a pedigree, Viljan Bijev. Was all set to go to college when, in July of 2011, after graduating high school, earned a trial with the Liverpool under-18s. He scored 5 goals in 2 matches while on trial, and immediately was signed by Liverpool for their youth teams. Never played for the first team, as T2 a little bit fortunate that Mathers was offside after a giveaway from Morley.
Well, it looked close. I don't know if the linesman has got this one right, but he certainly bailed out Trevor Morley, as Trevor Morley just needs to get rid of the ball instead of trying to chop it inside. There's moments when you can play and moments where you just got to concede possession or put it into an area, and it's almost overplaying at times, which I think Andrew Gregor would have a word with Trevor Morley, just saying there's no need to try and get out of that situation.
Morley sends this one long. Belmar flicks it on. Brett is behind Tolo and draws a free kick. Tolo had little choice but to grab the speedy Nico Brett.
Did you see the little pullback? Wasn't much contact, but Nico Brett felt it and decided to pull up.
Charlie Lyon, Seattle's goalkeeper, making his 5th start, a split time with Tyler Miller on S2 this year. Tyler Miller, presumably with the Seattle first team, on the road this week, playing the New England Revolution. So it's Lyon getting the start today. Nico Brett floated into the box, back post. It was a good opportunity for Carlton Belmar, but he couldn't put it on goal.
A great ball. Belmar will feel he should have done better, as there's a nice loft to the ball, there's enough pace on it, and Belmar, they say, is unmarked until the very end. He's got a chance to go in there and get good contact on the ball, but it just glances off his head.
Belmar.
It's a good spell, Sergeant. It's a good spell for T2 here, where I think it seemed as though the Sounders 2 were on the ascendancy when they had a couple of their chances, and they're finding their way down this left-hand side through Samuel, who again is combining in this moment. But the Timbers, ever since again that free kick and Ben Polk, they've seemed to be on the ascent.
Mansoure trying to take it himself through the T2 back line. It fell to Samuel. It was poked away by Lowe. Bijev into space for Belmar. Nelson was able to handle it.
Amazing what a goal can do for your team, and you just feel as though you can run a bit further, you can run a little bit quicker, you're willing to release from your area and support another teammate a little bit sharper. You got something to protect now, and that's But you get the sense on that pitch right now that the players, they're a lot more up for it, T2, than they were, it seems, when they started the match.
Belmar can cause problems with his pressure. Seattle dealing with it well. Still, T2 probably going to be content with allowing S2 to just knock it around the back.
That's just it, and along the outside, didn't trouble T2 at all. And I was just waiting to see number 90 for Sounders 2, O'Shawn, if he was going to show up for Sounders 2 to maybe bounce it off him or play through him. He's had a couple nice runs making the edge late and being that surprise added attacker, but just wonder in that build-up play if he could show up a little bit more and to see his foot on the ball.
Marco Shong scored his first goal as a member of Seattle Sounders 2 against LA last week, a 1-1 draw. He already has 2 caps with Cameroon. Marco Shong, 19 years old, signed in the off-season. Has played in every match this season, one of just 2 players, and now the only player with Tony Alfaro away in New England with the Sounders first team. O'Shawn, the only player for Seattle to play in every match so far this year. Beasler tripped up from behind and a foul call. Nike is a proud partner of the USL. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information. Then Polk can't keep that in play. Goal kick for Seattle.
Another player just keeping the eyes on is number 32, Zach Mathers. Just his influence, who was buzzing around, getting on the ball as much as he could, or getting around it anyways to provide options. Just haven't seen him in the last 10 minutes as much. He is playing more that, you say, number 10 out of midfield. He's getting close to Mansoret, but he's also linking up in the midfield. But he needs to provide that link and get on that ball and transfer it.
Second round pick for the Sounders, but signed with S2, Zach Mathers, out of Duke. He was the 35th overall pick in this year's Super Draft. Kasipli. Brett tried to get it to Polk. Brett got it back. Now Farfan. Chance to cross. Instead, keeps it on the ground to Brett. Now Farfan will send it into the box. Picks out Nico Brett. Dangerous run from Brett. Looking for Bijev. It was broken up by Seattle. They had to because Bijev was in a good spot.
That is a terrific ball by Farfan. Just for him to be able to see that pass and the execution of it to put it in the path of Nico Brett. For all his 1v1 in the attack, Farfan, and how confident he looks and direct, he checks towards a player. He'll run at that back foot. He's got something special the way he can see a pass. And we've seen that in games, and it hasn't always come off, but he can see a line of path that is very difficult sometimes for players to see. And I think as he evolves, it's going to be something else to see that left back, the way he can spring guys in. We talk about all that. He's done a nice little shift defensively as well tonight.
Now 11 matches. Marco Farfan has started every match this season for T2. He's a junior in high school, a member of the Timbers Academy. And what a difference T2 has made for a player like Marco Farfan. If he were 2 years older in the system 2 years ago, he wouldn't have had these opportunities. He'd still be playing with the Timbers Academy. And instead able to get games at this level, and as you mentioned, Ross, I think you can see it, but it's not hard to imagine how much that has helped his confidence and helped him grow as a player.
He's drawn so many comparisons to Jorge Villafania, and it's frightening just the similarities in his running style even, and the way he can hit a ball with his left foot. They're very similar, just how you look down onto that pitch, and you can almost say that's how Jorge Villafania was when he was Farfan's age. And so if he evolves to be similar to the former left back of Portland Timbers, I think a lot of people would be very happy with that.
Marco Farfan will come forward to take the corner kick. His nickname, I've heard, Via Farfan. I've heard that tossed around a little bit around the Timbers organization.
Nice ring to that.
Farfan takes the corner. Again, making Charlie Lyon do work. He's handled those well, with Farfan trying to curl it in pretty much right into the goal mound.
Good area, just maybe a little bit too much loft. Not enough pace on the ball to really trouble, giving Lyon a chance to come and collect.
Mathers, a big switch towards Fisher. Patino couldn't handle it.
Been off the mark, and that's the way the Sounders 2 have been in these last 10-15 minutes since they conceded the goal. Is just slightly off with a pass here and there, but you can see where the ideas are there.
Fisher looking for Mathers. He was lurking, but Gallagher cut it off.
Again, that's a great idea to see that pass with a runner, Mathers, coming in between the center backs, but the pass is going on the outside shoulder of the center back. That's a tough pass to spot, and it didn't come off there, but you'd be encouraged the fact that Fisher was trying it.
Beasler called for the foul, and now S2 with an opportunity to send a dangerous ball into the box. Zach Mathers will take. Mathers to the back post, and nobody on Seattle was making that run. A wasted opportunity from S2.
Mathers just putting his arms out, palms to the air, asking who's going there, who's making that run, as everybody seem to have made the same run. Coming more towards the ball instead of peeling out around the back stick. Kasiple starting to settle in nicely to this match.
Came on in the early minutes of this match, first 15 minutes of this match, for the injured Andre Lewis. Nico Brett looking for Belmar, goes all the way through to the back post. Ben Polk.
That's a great ball that is hit. I think almost sometimes as strikers, you have to gamble. You can't wait to see the ball as soon as it's left the foot. You have to predict where it's going to go. You have to take your chances. And as I say, you make that run to the near stick. At times with the pace, if Carlton Belmar had predicted it, had got himself into the spot, he may have found himself to be on the end of that ball.
Brett will take the fourth corner of the match for T2. Driven in again right at Charlie Lyon. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but T2 has hit their last 3 corner kicks right at the Sounders 2 goalkeeper, testing Charlie Lyon.
He's looked comfortable with his catches line. He's done everything that's asked of him so far the first half. I don't think he could have done anything about that goal from Bichev, as Bichev nestled it very nicely in the corner.
Farfan gets a rise out of the crowd by stepping around Devin Fisher. Mansoure. Mathers is through. McIntosh quick off his line. Who got a touch? McIntosh did. And the offside flag was up anyway. Zach Mathers can't believe it. He wanted a penalty kick. It wouldn't have been one as Mathers was offside.
Well, that will avoid any controversy there because the offside is the first infraction. But as that ball comes in, it looks like there's a touch on Mathers. If that play would have continued, if he was onside, I think that's a penalty. McIntosh has come to it late. You can see the direction of the ball that's gone. It would suggest that Mathers got the first touch on it. But in the end, it was offside.
As Ross mentioned, no controversy because of the flag coming up, but Ezra Hendrickson and Sounders too will feel like, if not for the offside, that they should have had a penalty kick.
The linesman was very certain about the offside call. I think it's one I have to say and I have to see again, but the linesman felt confident in that decision. So as we go there, it was a good run and it was a good ball by Mansoray in behind. It's difficult to see again from that angle, but it was clever just how they cut through. Again, though, the linesman, I have to say, was up with the play, was in position.
Carlton Belmar was down for a moment. He's back up, and T2 ready to take a throw. Kasipley finds Beasler. Gallagher, diagonal ball to the corner looking for Ben Polk, who brings it down well and then takes a heavy touch and gives up a goal kick.
Seen the left back for Sounders Tuaptolo. He's just encouraging his keeper, Lyon, to quicken the pace a little bit, to hurry things up.
Get into the game through the USL's social media channels. Follow the USL on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for news, live game updates, and video highlights from across the league. Gallagher tried to leave it for Farfan. Patino got there first and draws a foul.
Yeah, he just left a foot in, Farfan. Caught Patino with the underside of his boot.
Tolo into Samuel, all the way back to No Hope. Patino does well to get around Farfan. Now Mathers looking for Patino. Kasipley cut it off. And then does well to find Nico Brett. Didn't just send it out into touch.
Nice bit of composure by Kasipley. Managed to see out what looked like an interesting build-up play from Patino as he worked it into Mathers, and Patino, for him to take it beyond Farfan the way he did, was a smart little touch.
Oh, Mathers took it off Beasler. It's still Mathers, saved by McIntosh. Rebound towards Samuel. Lowe broke it up. McIntosh coming up big to keep T2 on top.
It was a good strike. Going low to McIntosh's right-hand side. There's good contact as Mathers, he steps away from the challenge and from 20 yards out, center area is looking for that far side. But McIntosh, he gets his angles right, he gets down low nice and quick, and it's enough of contact on it that he can give his defenders something to recover for and clear the danger.
Mathers broken up by Polk. Stays with S2. Patino.
Just turning into a nice little battle here down the right-hand side of the Sounders attack.
Carlos Patino. Awful Farfan out for a throw.
Let's see what Nico Brett did there. And that's unselfish for him, an attack-minded player, to come back and give support. Whereas Farfan, he got beat last time, so Nico Brett, he's just come in to give that reinforcement at the back, and he's helped him out, Farfan.
Fisher to the back post looking for Samuel. It's over his head. And out for a goal kick. Timbers 2 starting academy players on both sides of the back line. Terrell Lowe at right back. Marco Farfan at left back. So far, so good from those two?
Strong. I thought Terrell Lowe had his work cut out for him at the start with Samuel. He was getting at him, he was getting by him, but then he settled in, and we haven't seen as much of Samuel the second half of the second part of the first half, rather.
Schweitzer coming forward. Lowe recovered. Stays with Schweitzer. Mansoray. Schweitzer. Fisher overlapping. Schweitzer put it just out of his reach. Fisher kept it in play and wins a throw. Three minutes of stoppage time. We had a lengthy injury break early on in the first half when Andre Lewis had to come out. And Seattle now will have a free kick in a pretty dangerous spot. Maybe a little too far out of shooting range. We'll see what Zach Mathers chooses to do.
They've done well, Sounders, too, just to keep the ball pressed in the attacking half, and T2 have been unable to clear their lines and see out this first half to this point, and it's a dangerous area that will be on high alert as the defenders and trying to keep that strong line at the back. Wait till that very last moment for the ball to strike before you drop.
Mathers looking to the back post. McIntosh goes up and gets it. Not the tallest keeper, listed at 6 feet, but did well there amongst some big bodies.
Just see down in the technical area, head coach Andrew Gregor having a word with Kendall McIntosh, and I think the instruction will be, why have you booted that so quickly? It's coming to your hands. It's all about managing the end of this first half. We've got 1-0 lead. What's the hurry? Get everybody up the pitch, then release the ball.
Got behind Nelson. Belmar gets around Nelson. Cuts inside. Belmar looking for Brad on the back post. Didn't quite hit it right. Did everything but the final ball, and it's out for a Seattle throw. Bijev tried to leave for Polk. Seattle coming forward now. Fisher overlapping. Blows past Farfan. Now plays Mansoray through. The flag is up.
So well worked by Sounders too. The overlap, the timing of Fisher, and then for him to release that pass right away, and it was close. Again, the linesman making the decision for offside, but it looked very close as Mansoray seemed to be running off the shoulder.
And that is the end of the first half. T2, a 1-0 lead after 45 minutes. When we come back, we will talk to that man, Michael Gallagher, as Viljan Bijev has T2 on top. I go one-on-one with defender Michael Gallagher, and Ross gives his thoughts on the first half when we come back.
The world is a curious place, full of puzzles still waiting to be solved. Stonehenge, the pyramids, Easter Island, and today, another enigma rises out of the clouds. Who is the face on the tail?
This car wasn't made in Detroit, or Tokyo, or Mexico City. This, the Mini Clubman, was crafted in Oxford, England, a place where mass production isn't all that massive. And each car is engineered, customized, tuned, and crafted one at a time. Introducing the new Mini Clubman, made in Oxford.
Mini of Portland, proud sponsor of the Portland Thorns and Timbers 2. We make it fun.
Welcome back to Providence Park in Portland, Oregon. Portland Timbers 2 with a 1-0 lead over their rival Seattle Sounders 2 at halftime thanks to a Viljan Bijev 25th minute goal. Well, T2 defender Michael Gallagher, you could excuse him if this match means a little bit more than all others for him. He grew up in the Seattle area, grew up playing for the Sounders Academy, went to the University of Washington in Seattle, but when it came time to sign with the professional team, he signed with Timbers 2 over Sounders or Seattle Sounders 2. I recently went one-on-one with Michael Gallagher to find out about his life so far here in the Rose City.
Michael, you have taken an interesting path to come here to T2 because you're from Seattle and you started your career in the Sounders system, the Sounders Academy. Speaking of Seattle, there are a lot of Huskies on this team. You are the latest in a long line of successful Huskies to play for the Timbers in T2. Brent Richards, Taylor Pay, Andy Toma, now you. What's it like continuing you're playing with those guys now in the professional level?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it seems like every year we get someone within the Timbers organization. But I mean, honestly, I couldn't have asked for more coming down here. Just seeing those familiar faces helped my whole transition down here, made it a lot more smoother. I've gotten to play with Taylor Pay, it was center back partnership together, and that's been great. We were going to be partners at UW, but then things kind of didn't work out, so it's just kind of nice playing with him now. And so there's Huskies everywhere, which is always nice.
We've got Brent Richards, who's been playing right back. You and Taylor playing center back. Andy Toma's a left back. Have you guys lobbied Andrew Greger, your coach, to put that foursome together on the back line?
Yeah, I think us and Shannon, who's a dog as well, have lobbied that. But Toma's been coming back from injury, so hopefully we can get it here coming up. But yeah, I mean, it'll obviously be fun, but it's up to Greger, so.
We look forward to possibly seeing that in the future. I want to talk to you a little bit about T2, about this setup. Obviously, the USL team, an affiliate of an MLS team, is kind of a new thing, T2 in its second year. What's your perspective on this system, this kind of new path of development in American soccer?
I mean, I think it's awesome. I mean, I've been around the academy system here and just kind of seen it evolve over the past 5-6 years. And, I mean, it's anything you could hope for. We're right next to the first team every day. We're getting exposure to first-team coaches. Not to mention we're in, top organization in the MLS. So, I mean, you can't really ask for much more just in terms of developmental piece-wise. And I know that everyone's said it time and time, but we're a super young team. And so that's the whole point of this team, to keep developing and make our way up to the first team, hopefully.
How do you envision your path? What are your goals in this organization?
I mean, obviously, the biggest goal is to move on up to the first team. I mean, always the goal is to keep moving up, pushing yourself, and get to the professional ranks. But, I mean, this is obviously a stepping stone towards that. But, I mean, we'll see what happens here, but hopefully that's the goal.
There's do-it-yourself health, and then there's times when you need more. Introducing Providence Express Care. Get a same-day visit for the things you just can't treat at home. The sore throat that won't quit, that soccer sprain, the stomach ache that no pink drink can settle. We're here for you 7 days a week with extended hours to suit your life. Want fast care from folks who know health? That's Providence Express Care. Find the location nearest you today at providenceexpresscare.org.
We want to be a team that's expansive. We want to be a team that when we play in Merlot, fans want to come watch us play because we're exciting. Because we have a good product on the field.
Space left foot, yes! Eddie, Eddie, Eddie!
And you should see that the hard work that you're putting into it is working. And you should feel excited about that. We can never be satisfied with what we have to do to continue to take the next step.
It's our 5th annual Stand Together Week, and you're invited to celebrate by teaming up with your favorite Timbers and Thorns player to give back to our community. Since 2011, we've logged over 10,000 hours of service at more than 130 events benefiting youth and the environment. It's going to be another special week in 2016. Sign up at ptstandtogether.com to save your spot. Together, we can give, unite, and inspire.
This car wasn't made in Detroit, or Tokyo, or Mexico City. This, the Mini Clubman, was crafted in Oxford, England, a place where mass production isn't all that massive. And each car is engineered, customized, tuned, and crafted one at a time. Introducing the new Mini Clubman, made in Oxford.
Mini of Portland, proud sponsor of the Portland Thorns and Timbers 2. We make it fun.
There's just one way to improve taco night. A practically spill-proof crust. Practically. Spice up dinner with a large home-baked Papa Murphy's Taco Grande. Your choice of ground beef or grilled chicken, just $11. Order online at papamurphys.com. Papa Murphy's, love at 425 degrees.
Portland Timbers 2 with a 1-0 lead over Seattle Sounders 2 at halftime of the first USL meeting between Portland and Seattle in the 2016 season. Jake Sivan, Ross Smith, a 1-0 lead for T2 after 45 minutes. Ross, your thoughts on the first half?
I thought the first 10 minutes, both teams were trying to figure each other out. I thought there were some good ideas happening, but you're just waiting to see, once things calm down, a little bit of nerves at this rivalry, what the teams were all about. From there, Seattle Sounders, after that first 10 minutes, I thought they were the aggressor. They had the better of chances. But then once Timbers 2 got that goal, all of a sudden, they looked a lot more up for it. They looked to be sort of showing what they're about a little bit more. And up until that final 5 minutes where Sounders 2 had a flurry of chances, they started to come back into it. But I think both managers will want more out of their midfield, getting on the ball, controlling the tempo, controlling the game a little bit more.
Let's take a look at the first half highlights from this match. T2 had to make an early substitution, Seth Kasipli in for Andre Lewis, and immediately after that sub, Seattle with probably their best chance for the first half.
Well, that first part of the first half, Samuel was having his way down that left-hand side, and he was creating chances with O'Shawn following up on the edge. They were finding that spot, but blocks were coming in for T2 to prevent Sounders 2 from going up.
Good opportunity from T2 a few minutes later as Nico Brett just wide with this effort.
Should be scoring, and he knows himself by that reaction. He's almost tried to be too precise with his strike, where from that distance, that power and finding that side netting would have been a goal.
25th minute, the breakthrough for T2, Viljan Bijev's at first.
And it was so natural by him. It was so confident that it was almost as though he hit in autopilot. As soon as that ball comes into him, he just allows it to roll across his body, and he gets that contact right through the middle of the ball, and there was no doubt as soon as it left his foot where that ball was ending up.
Kendall McIntosh, T2's keeper, had to make a late save to keep the first half shutout as Zach Mathers testing him.
Yes, strong save, and as that ball pops off Samuel, can't believe it because he would have felt if that ball's on the deck, he would have been stuck in that home, but McIntosh does enough to allow his defenders to recover.
T2 leads 1-0. Second half coming up from Providence Park when we come back.
We want to be a team that's expansive. We want to be a team that when we play in Merlot, fans want to come watch us play because we're exciting. Because we have a good product on the field.
Space left foot, yes! Eddie, Eddie, Eddie!
You should see that the hard work that you're putting into it is working. And you should feel excited about that. We can never be satisfied with what we have to do to continue to take the next step.
The world is a curious place, full of puzzles still waiting to be solved. Stonehenge, the pyramids, Easter Island, and today, another enigma rises out of the clouds. Who is the face on the tail?
This car wasn't made in Detroit, or Tokyo, or Mexico City. This, the Mini Clubman, was crafted in Oxford, England, a place where mass production isn't all that massive. And each car is engineered, customized, tuned, and crafted one at a time. Introducing the new Mini Clubman, made in Oxford.
Mini of Portland, proud sponsor of the Portland Thorns and Timbers 2. We make it fun.
There's do-it-yourself help, and then there's times when you need more. Introducing Providence Express Care. Get a same-day visit for the things you just can't treat at home. The sore throat that won't quit, that soccer sprain, the stomach ache that no pink drink can settle. We're here for you 7 days a week with extended hours to suit your life. Want fast care from folks who know health? That's Providence Express Care. Find the location nearest you today at providenceexpresscare.org.
There's just one way to improve taco night. A practically spill-proof crust. Practically. Spice up dinner with a large home-baked Papa Murphy's Taco Grande. Your choice of ground beef or grilled chicken, just $11. Order online at papamurphys.com. Papa Murphy's, love at 425 degrees.
15-year-old Troutdale, Oregon native Alan Gaitan honored at halftime today, the winner of this year's Sueño MLS, the 10th edition of the talent competition to find the best young soccer players in America. The first time that a Portland Timbers representative has won the contest. Not only does he get that awesome trophy, he also gets a spot with the Portland Timbers Academy. 15-year-old Alan Gaitan now in the Timbers system after winning Sueño MLS. Of course, the competition first won 10 years ago by Jorge Villafaña, the former Portland Timbers left back, who has been by far the most successful of the Sueño winners. It's a beautiful night in Portland as T2 and S2 get ready for the second half. There has been one change for Portland Timbers 2 at halftime, and left back Andy Toma has come on for Marco Farfan, the third appearance of the season for Toma, who missed the first 8 matches of the year with a leg injury, and this will be his longest spell of the year as we are underway in the second half. T2 and S2 from Providence Park. Mansoray in a battle with Morley. Terrell Lowe takes it away, gets it to Bijev. Brett forward towards Belmar. Belmar tried to keep it in play. It was a nifty touch. Belmar gets a little talking to after sending that ball on goal. Mansoret off his back. Morley. Lowe sends it forward.
Seen Andy Toma come on, interested to see his progression as he's been out for some time. He had a good preseason with the Timbers first team.
Brett to the back post. Devin Fisher got up to win the header.
I think he was knocking on the door, and it's in the conversation of starting left back at the start of the season, as Caleb Porter had said time and again that was the position that he was still wondering about as he came into that first match against Columbus Crew. And you have to think that Andy Toma, up until his injury, was perhaps being considered for that area.
Second year left back out of Washington. Belmar just missed getting it to Brett, but S2 unable to clear. Bijev trying to draw a foul. Beasler steps in to win it back for Portland. Now Ben Polk at Devon Fisher. At the near post, Lyon had trouble dealing with it, and it's a corner for T2.
Well, Ben Polk, he's just trying to get his cross away from behind the body of Fisher, and Lyon, he did struggle with the post in its way. Be unhappy about conceding a corner kick there.
Nico Brett looking to the near post. Sent right back out for a deep throw-in.
He's going by the way Bijev took his goal in the first half. I think you want to see him show up more in the second half. Again, getting on the ball in central areas and turning upfield, finding passes, finding runs coming off him.
Big run forward from Terrell Lowe. Picks out Ben Polk. Polk from distance. Didn't get enough behind it. And it was pretty easy for Lyon.
Well, it was nice and direct from Polk, though. He just picked up the ball. He had one thing in mind, was to work his run into a central area to open up the goal for him, but his contact, it wasn't right. Not nearly enough on the ball.
Bijev called for the foul in the midfield.
Talk at halftime about controlling the game, and then look towards Beasler and Kasiple getting on the ball more. Trying to get a nice little rhythm for the rest of his team and setting the tone.
Schweitzer. Mather. Beasler looked like he may have picked up a knock. He's back up.
It looked as though he overstretched for that, Paul. He almost opened up his knee as he went in for it.
Belmar heading it into space. Brett comes forward. Belmar making a run on the back post. Brett tries to pick him out. Polk overlapping. Terrell Lowe.
Say maybe a good decision to pull the ball back, but I thought that was a chance to get at the Sounders while they were scrambling to get numbers back. You had numbers in the box. T2 did well to catch up with the play, but he decided to turn it down and come back.
It looked promising when Brett sprinted forward and Belmar was running into space. Brett's ball a little bit behind Belmar, and Seattle recovered well enough. McIntosh picks out Low on the touchline. Gallagher. Belmar looking for Low. Cut out by Tolo. Samuel.
I just thought the ball from Gallagher into Belmar showed where Belmar could play it. If he could just pop it out to the nearest side where we're facing there and continue on your run.
Devon Fisher to the near post. McIntosh, sure hands to collect.
Nice and certain by McIntosh coming out to collect and then spinning the ball out. Sounders too closed down well on Andy Tillman when he got the ball out there. That channel opened up nicely. You just thought, could he lift the ball in? But there was enough pressure coming on for him to turn back. There's a nice little spell here for Timbers. They're just trying to find their way through. You can see they're going along the outside, but chances where they can go up the gut.
Bijev draws a free kick. Beasler takes it quick into the corner. Nico Brett brings it down. Gets beyond Fisher. Brett looking for Belmar. Sent clear by No Hope. Still there for T2. Kasipli. Bijev tried to leave it for Kasipli. And S2 coming forward. Gallagher steps up to win it for T2. And it's a throw-in for Portland.
Good read by Gallagher to step in. But going back to Bijev, it's all right. It's a good area, good angle where he's showed up. He's pulled off that line, and he's trying to play Kasipli through.
Beasler faked the shot. Instead found Bijev. His shot was blocked. And it'll be a corner kick for T2. Their 6th of the match.
A nice little spell here as they controlling the ball nicely, T2. You can see just them trying to figure out where the soft spots are in the defensive Sounders too.
William Bijev, the game's lone goal in the 25th minute. Nico Brett gets a nice hand as he goes to take this corner in front of the Timbers Army. Gallagher, Lyon got there first. He's been good on those corners, good on the crosses.
Very strong. Came out, had a couple bodies to contend with, and managed to collect with safe hands.
Mather got around Morley. Drew a foul. Seattle plays quickly. Patino tried to get through Toma. It's broken up by the second-year left back who sends it into space looking for Carlton Belmar. And playing it out for a corner kick was Toby No Hope.
The ball came from good defensive support from Ben Polk again with Andy Toma linking up, doubling down on Patino, giving him nowhere and no space for him to run into.
Brett driven low, didn't get past the first defender. Toma in towards Bijev. Leaves for Nico Brett. Hit it with some power, but well wide.
Well, in the way Nico Brett cut across the ball in the first half, it's almost as though that's the technique that was needed in this situation. Just see how this ball is dropping, and he catches too much at the center of the ball. If he could just cut across it in similar fashion the way he did in the first half, then that'd be going towards target. There was enough pace on the ball that the power was going to be there. It just needed the contact.
Kasipli does well to draw a foul in the midfield. Oshong turns, sends it into space. Tolo's coming forward. Has Samuel in front of him. Leaves it for Tolo, who gets behind Lowe. Tolo into the box, got all the way through to the back post. Kasipli poked it clear.
That's a great run from Tolo. You can see him just open up his legs. He had the pace. He was looking for support to find his way in.
Patino. Fisher. To the near post, McIntosh collects this time.
It was a great break by Sounders too, but now the Timbers, they can go the other end. There's Nico Brett is showing his pace.
O'Shong chasing.
That's a nice job by the defensive midfielder, O'Shong, just to come back out. Not stick a foot in, just to get the back of Nico Brett and force him back towards his own goal. But the other end, Fantolo, he'll be looking up asking his attacking players, why wasn't there a run coming in? Because he put it in such an area that McIntosh, it was going to be tricky for him to get through.
Bijev through to Belmar. Belmar got there. So did Lyon.
Well, didn't line too well there because he had to be right. He committed. He came out. Belmar was going through, and Belmar did get the first touch, but Lyon sees that touch. Just look at this strong hand. It's a great pass by Bijev to spring Belmar through, but Belmar, he actually gets the first touch. But Lyon, he comes across, he sees that touch is going to happen. He gets a strong hand to it. Great decision, great reaction by him. Good play all around, to be fair, for Timbers 2 to spring themselves in.
Seattle is making a substitution as Mark O'Shong comes out of the match and Willie Kapawa comes on. Kapawa made his S2 debut last week against LA, played 16 minutes off the bench. He'll get about twice that tonight. O'Shong leaves in the 58th. Gallagher headed it down into the feet of Kisipli, who did well to get it out of danger.
Well, it looks like Schweitzer, he's going to be holding down that midfield. Kapawa, I imagine, be looking to have more forward runs, have more attacking runs out of the midfield.
Poor giveaway by Seattle. Can T2 take advantage? Bijev gets around no hope. Plays Belmar. An opportunity for Carlton Belmar, and he sent it wide.
Well, that very action tells you all. That should be 2-0. As T2 pick up the ball, and Bijev, he just lays it in for Carlton Belmar to hit first time. And Carlton Belmar decides to go near side of the goalkeeper. He's trying to hit that top pin, when really he's got the entire goal at his mercy and should be tucking that in.
Best chance of the second half for T2. You saw it for a moment, a glimpse of Blake Bodley on the T2 sideline in front of the fourth official. He's getting ready to come into the match. The third Academy member who has had time with T2 this season. Bijev broken up by Nelson. Samuel Mansoret. Mathers, nobody there. Belmar and Toma, for a moment, it seemed like neither just could decide who wanted to go after that ball. It ended up being okay. Beasler gets it taken away from behind by Mathers. S2 coming forward. Mathers, great ball to pick out Samuel. Myron Samuel, shot blocked by Morley. Both teams have had opportunities. Patino. Mathers sent into the box. Got all the way through to the back post. Samuel runs it down.
That is a very good ball by Mathers. Just in the behind of the fence. He needed a run to come across, but you go back to that chance by Samuel. The ball just wouldn't sit down for him quick enough, and it allowed Morley to come across and get a block in. As Terrell Lowe was scrambling to get himself back after Nick Biesler had lost possession in the midfield.
Corner for Seattle. Belmar won the defensive header. Schweitzer, another chance for a cross. McIntosh came and punched and got to it with Mansoret lurking.
What a great punch. That's a difficult ball to get to, difficult ball to defend as a center back in there, and needed help from McIntosh, and he came with a strong hand.
Substitution coming now for T2. Nico Brett will come off and Blake Bodley will come in. He made his 2016 debut last week, did Bodley. And now we'll get about a half hour tonight.
Opportunity for the youngster. As you mentioned, we saw him against Whitecaps too, and there was a couple nice crosses where he got down the left-hand side and he was whipping the ball in. He's a player that can get around on the outside. He's got a nice left foot, but then he can go wandering as well. If he's not involved in the game, he'll go looking for it.
An 18-year-old member of the Timbers Academy, committed to play at the University of Washington next year. McIntosh just has to send it clear to safety. Toma did well to keep it in play. Speaking of the Huskies, former Husky Andy Toma. Oh, Bodley cuts inside, picks out Bijev. Bijev gets around Lyon, goes down, and it's a penalty kick for T2. That one looked clear that Lyon got a touch on Bijev.
Well, how about that for an introduction coming to the game? Blake Bodley gets on the ball, he cuts inside, and he needs a run to go against him. And Bijev, he comes against the run of Bodley, coming in across, and Bodley just lays it into his path. It is a penalty. The referee's in a good position, makes the right call.
It's the first penalty earned by T2 this season. Viljan Bijev will take. And Bijev put it wide. Oh, you're in the PK. He took it. And T2 will be very disappointed, but this match is still 1-0.
He's tried to be so accurate where he doesn't need to be. He's fooled line. He sent him the wrong way, and he just needs to nestle that ball in. But he's tried to be so perfect with that placement, and in the end, it goes wide.
Seattle will make a substitution as Emir Alihadzik will come on for Zach Mathers. One Sounders draft pick, a second rounder, and Mathers coming out for a third rounder, and Alihadzik, both signed to S2 after being drafted by the MLS club. So Ross, your T2, you have a 1-0 lead and probably feel in control of this match. But you've had Belmar miss a very good look in the box, and then Bijev miss a PK. Is it difficult to respond mentally when you feel like it should probably be 2 or 3-0?
They need to just see how they do respond, and if they go again, if they don't think about those missed chances. I think it's so important for your back four to stay strong in moments like that. That's where you see the strong characters come out and provide that sturdiness again for your attack to go and try and get another chance.
Samuel Tolo overlapping. Couldn't keep that cross in play. Keep up to date with the USL all season long by visiting the new USLsoccer.com for everything you need to know about the USL.
Go back to that run from Blake Bodley. It was so encouraging and it was so confident. Just the way he stepped inside and the way he's eliminated his defender. I believe it was Fisher who came up towards him. He's gone past him with rather ease and then picked up his head and saw the timing of the run and was able to execute a nice path into Bijev's path.
Gallagher got it to Kasipli. Beasler overhit it, looking for Bijev. Fisher. Alihadzik goes in strong for the youngster Blake Bodley.
Well, it did look to be a strong challenge. But the referee's question here is, was there studs out? What's the force coming in? It did look as though there was contact on the ball, but just as we have the look, the touch gets away. And it did look initially as there was studs up. I have to say, though, I think Alihadzik, he's pulled out at the last second. That's what the referee has perhaps seen. That the challenge was strong. It wasn't the contact with the ball. It was a little bit high, but there wasn't enough force, and did look as though Ali Hadzik did pull out. And to give credit to Blake Bodley, he didn't roll around. Didn't roll around, try and feign any sort of injury. He got himself right back up.
Mansouri. Samuel out wide. Did not connect. Throw coming for T2. Andrew Greger probably thinks his team should be up at least 2-0 now, if not 3.
Well, they've been the better team this second half. A couple changes from Sounders too. I'm looking to see Kapawa, just if he has more influence on this match. Thought perhaps he was coming in to have more of an attacking threat, but he seems to have been sitting.
Morley gave it away. Samuel coming forward and did nothing with the opportunity. Put it right at Kendall McIntosh.
Samuel, he's a couple of opportunities, half chances you would say in the second half.
Bijev. Back to Lowe, who comes forward. Ali Hadzik is there.
Got hold of the ball nicely there, Lowe.
Now Kasipli. Polk. Wins a corner.
Well defended by Nelson. Ben Polk, he stood him up. I like it when Ben Polk, he does get 1v1. He's trying to go direct. Not looking to combine it, and I like how assertive he is and how confident he is with his decisions to get in and around the area and just to try and get his half a yard, drop the shoulder and go.
Bodley will take the corner, floats this one to the back post. Morley is there. Header won by No Hope. T2 keeps it. Beasler sent to the back post, just out of the reach of Trevor Morley.
It had good shape, the ball from Beasler as he's just searching for that backstick run, but as you said, just a little bit too much on the service going in as he looked for Morley at the backstick.
Toma steps up to win it. Almost got it back. And he did win a throw. Down the line looking for Belmar. Couldn't get it over the head of Devin Fisher. Or rather, Toby No Hope. Now Mansouri. Gallagher defending. Mansouri got behind him. Toma comes over to help. Mansouri gets around Gallagher again. Mansouri in the box. Goes down. No call. Not even much of a thought, it appeared. And now here comes T2.
Well, it was clumsy. Did look coming together of bodies.
Polk was looking for Belmar, and Nuhu Tolo did very well to chest the ball back to Charlie Line, his keeper. Allow his keeper to use his hands. Bijev called for a foul. Low into space for Bodley. Advantage played. Not that time, as Bodley draws a free kick. Blake Bodley was dealing with some injuries at the beginning of this season. And we'll get another look. Blake Bodley dealt with some injuries at the beginning of the season. That's why it took him so long to make his season debut. He was the academy member last season that played the most. Got in 6 matches for T2. Kind of became the darling of the team out at Merlo Field. Just 17 years old at the time. Belmar thought about a shot. Now tries it. Didn't get anything behind that ball. But Bodley now playing for a second straight match. Big week next week for Blake Bodily, you would assume, as T2 takes their show on the road, so to speak. They're hosting Swope Park Rangers, but the match will be played in the Boise area in Meridian, Idaho. Blake Bodily is a native of Eagle, Idaho, which is another Boise suburb, just like Meridian. A homecoming of sorts if Bodily is in the group next week. Seattle, meanwhile, is going to make 2 substitutions as Carlos Patino will come out of the match. Handwala Buana comes in, 17-year-old Sounders Academy member. And then Jordan Schweitzer comes out. Kai Tamazawa coming on, another Academy member coming into the match. So Seattle brings 2 17-year-olds on in the 72nd minute in Tamazawa and Buana.
Just go back to that non-call by the referee as bodies come in. Do you think he's gone to ground a little bit too easy there? It was bodies coming together, but the referee's in a good position from his vantage point. It is more Mansoray going to ground on his own accord.
Bijev flicking on into space for Bodily, trying to get behind Tolo. Soft Bodily to throw coming for Seattle. Well, foul was called, rather. So Lyon, the keeper, will come out to take this free kick. Beasler won the header. Bijev. Belmar's offside. The flag comes up.
Linesman's been kept busy over on that side. I think it was the right decision. Belmar looked to have gone just slightly early.
Ali Hadzik, poor ball. Here comes Polk. Tried to get Bijev out wide. Also had Belmar making a run up the middle. Now S2 coming forward. Mansoray. Devon Fisher. Buana's in the box. Wasn't making the near post run. And it's easy for McIntosh.
It was let down by Fisher. He had bodies to pick his head up and hit, but just couldn't get the cross right in an area.
Giveaway from T2. Gallagher stepped up to keep that from getting through to Victor Mansoray. Handwala Buana trying to find Mansoray. Again, it's Gallagher with the interception. Bijev turns. Holds up play. McIntosh sends it forward. Ali Hadzik. Buana running at Toma. Buana wins a corner.
He's looked to go forward, Buana, since he's come on. He's getting the ball at feet. He's running at guys. He's willing to take a player on. I think T2 just need to get their foot on the ball to see out this excited period with the subs coming on for Sounders 2. Subs coming in are obviously going to try and make as much of an impression as possible.
Ali Hadzik, low driven corner. Kasipli releases Bodily into space. Fisher comes back to trouble Bodily and send it out for a throw.
He's done well there, Bodily. So was Fisher, just to see Bodily out, but for Blake, without any support coming, you just use that sideline as almost a teammate. You take it down that way. If there's a touch, then ball goes up for throwing, and you look now, T2 get up the pitch.
Beasler combines well with Kasipli. Now Bijev has Lowe out wide. Lowe sent into the box. Poor clearance. Beasler from distance. Bodily flicks it on and just wide.
Unlucky. As that ball fell to Beasler, it was a poor clearance and he's trying to get that contact. But as he strikes it, just the outside of the foot, using the pace on the ball, trying for the curler. He meant that. I think he was looking for that far corner.
And Bodily certainly, and with Nick Beasler obviously going for goal, and it ended up almost being advantageous for T2.
Isn't that just a little taste of something different? How quick Bodily had to make that decision and conjure that up. Shows you he's got a different mind, that boy.
18-year-old Blake Bodily, committed to the University of Washington to play in the fall. Timbers Academy member. Bijev does well to turn to the midfield and draws a foul.
We talk about periods of the game, and this is an important period for T2. And this free kick here, just with all the momentum from Sounders 2 coming on, the substitutions trying to get at Timbers 2, find their way back into the game, the equalizer. So it's so important over these next 5 minutes for T2 to get into the attack and have to get on the ball.
Kasipli into the box. Belmar heads it towards the Timbers Army. Second time today off a set piece. Belmar's had a good opportunity.
There's been chances there for him. He'll feel as though his name should be on the score sheet tonight. It's a great ball into an area, and Belmar doesn't even need to jump. But sometimes in those, even though the ball doesn't need you to jump because of the height of it, you almost do need to have the little slip jumps just so you're getting up and over the ball to head it down.
Bodily battling with Buana, those two will be teammates next year at the University of Washington.
I like the look of Buana. He's getting at guys, he's getting on the ball, he's tricky, wants to try things.
Took it away from Toma. Washington Huskies everywhere on this left side. Nifty touch from Belmar to get around No Hope and then draw a free kick. Now Hadwala Buana, he's 17 years old. He was born in Kenya. He's from Kenya. Moved to the States with his family and initially caught the eye of the Sounders as a 14-year-old during Sueño MLS tryouts. Speaking of Sueño MLS, we saw this year's winner at halftime here, Alan Gaitan.
Well, No Hope, there's a little pullback here, and I think the feel as though is a booking not going to be shown. I think that's the conversations being had right now between the coach and staff of T2 and the referee, that Carlton Belmar was in a good area that he could go down.
He's also dealing with a shoulder injury, Carlton Belmar. Hurt his shoulder against Colorado Springs a few weeks ago. On the 13th of May. Came out right around halftime of that match. And everything was negative as he was able to play the next week against Vancouver, but certainly you could see in that match last week against Vancouver, you could see at times tonight him grasping at the shoulder, still clearly bothering him a little bit. And he got tugged right on that shoulder.
Good strong challenge by Beasler. Seeing that ball stepping across.
No Hope. Kapawa. Nelson looking for Tolo. Defended by Lowe.
Nelson has sprayed a couple of nice balls out from the center back position tonight.
Kapawa. Mansoure tried to flick it on to Samuel. T2 read it well. Beasler picks out Belmar. Belmar has Bodily overlapping on the left, plays it into space for the 18-year-old. First time cross, headed clear by Nelson. Beasler steps up to win it for T2.
Well done, Beasler. Did very well there just to follow up the play, but I like the run of Colton Belmar. As soon as he released it, now you look where he is, right in the middle of that goal. To be fair, it was good defending, recovery defending by Sounders 2 as Blake Bodley looked to have players to pick out, and as he just lofted the ball, I believe it was Nelson getting back, getting the header.
Toma came off his hand. Handball call. Seattle ready to make their 5th and final substitution as Lorenzo Ramos will come on for Victor Mansoure. Of course, in the USL, you're allowed 5 substitutions. Edra Hendrickson has used all 5 tonight. Ramos, another Sounders Academy member, made his pro debut against this same T2 team last year, April 11th. Played in 14 matches for Sounders 2 last year as an Academy member. This could be dangerous for Seattle. Samuel Tolo cuts it back. Tolo in the box. McIntosh makes the save. Second opportunity. Ramos heads it across. Falls to Samuel. Kasipli blocks it.
That's a few times now that Tolo has got himself released down that left-hand side, and he's been causing problems. The brightest of attacks has come down by way of Tolo getting in and either putting balls in and there. It's a strong strike on goal that McIntosh had to be on his toes. Just as we see, Tolo is going for power. He's just trying to blast it into that near stick, but McIntosh stands tall.
Bijev. Kasipli out wide to Low. Belmar. Tolo doesn't want to defend. He looks tired. Bijev. Ben Polk. An opportunity. Saved by Lyon. Keeps Seattle in the match.
It was as though Tolo just had enough. He didn't want to get back and defend, and he's put his team in a problem. And as T2 get on the end of it, Ben Polk trying to find a spot. But Lyon, who, aside from the penalty that he gave away, has had a strong night. And there he makes a great save to keep his team in it.
And that's the last touch of the match for Ben Polk as he comes out. And Brent Richards will come on with T2 trying to hold on to a 1-0 lead. 4th substitution from Andrew Gregor tonight. Blake Bodley to take the corner for T2. Sent to the back post, and it is on top of the goal. The Portland Timbers and Thorns are currently offering an exciting camp program for soccer players of all ages and skill levels from 5 to 13 years of age. Each camp focuses on age-appropriate activities designed to develop technical excellence and build a love for soccer. To sign up, visit timbers.com.
Just seen Sounders coach Ezra Hendrickson just waving to his players to get up the pitch. Let's get numbers forward to put pressure on the back line of T2.
Buana trying to turn. Still Buana. Out wide to Fisher. Fisher has moved over to the left side as Sounders 2 have looked to go to a 3 in the back as McIntosh has to come and punch strongly away. Now Beasler into space. Bodley behind Fisher. Fisher broke it up. Nelson steps up. Surely offside was Tolo, and he was. The flag's up.
It was a strong punch again by McIntosh. For a second, I just wondered if he was going to come off his line, whether He was just a little slow coming off, but in the end, he got the punch and cleared the danger.
Belmar battling with No Hope. No Hope sends it out. 2-2 throw coming up. Toma trying to get around Kapawa and wins a throw for Portland.
Kapawa, he looks a strong figure in that central area. He's always got good range, good power, getting himself around.
6'1", 184. He's 23 years old, one of the more experienced players on Sounders too. Richards into Bijev. Back to Brent Richards, now Toma. Beasler. Toma, touch to Richards. He's onside, couldn't get to it though. As Ramos defending.
It was unlucky. Brent Richards just didn't quite expect that pass to come in.
Terrell Lowe is down.
Yeah, just catches Lowe as he's unwilling to let Tolo get around him, and he's just taking a knock in the face as he rolls off to the side of the pitch.
Lowe giving up about 25 pounds to Nuhu Tolo, listed 5'10", 175. Terrell Lowe 5'8", 150. Taichi Kitagawa, the Timbers trainer, is out. Andrew Greger gives his guys instructions, what he wants to see. What's the message from Andrew Greger right now? Terrell Lowe down, so T2 temporarily playing down a man as Seattle comes forward. What's the message, Ross, from Andrew Greger to his guys in this situation? We'll get to that in a moment as Seattle comes forward. Ali Hodzik. Morley cuts it out. Tolo again coming forward. Fisher. Tolo. Cross into the box. Morley heads it clear. Kapawa. Chipped in, back post, a couple players there. Ramos brings it down. Bodily sends it out. It'll be a corner kick for Seattle.
I think there's a question of whether there should have been a penalty call as a run was coming in. I believe it was No Hope going in, and whether he got tangled up with a T2 player. But it was contact. Looked as though in coming together of bodies. But the referee didn't see it as a penalty.
Steve Palacios has come on for Terrell Lowe, who was down on the far side. Back to even strength is T2. Kasipley heads away the corner. Buana sent in, dangerous ball. Gallagher won the header.
Strong header from Gallagher. And when you ask me what would the message be, it's to fight for every single moment here. To close down, make sure you're denying service, you stay compact, you stay organized. You make sure you give as little away as possible. You can expect there's going to be a flare, there's going to be balls lumped in. You make sure you get your mark, you get tight.
Ball sent into the box. Headed clear. I think it was Beasler that won it, the T2 captain. Ramos bodily battling. Ramos won it. Buana. Final minutes of this match. Ramos. A chance to cross. Blocked by Kasipley. Throw-in coming for Seattle. 4 minutes of stoppage time. Minimum of 4 for Seattle to try to find an equalizer. Dangerous ball to the back post, but McIntosh made that a little less dangerous. Floated up in the air a little bit too long, and McIntosh was able to catch it.
And here's a difference. Remember back to the end of the first half where McIntosh got the ball and he was looking to release right away. Now he's put his hand up, relax. That's come from the instruction of manager Andrew Gregor, just saying relax in those moments.
Samuel well offside, was late to get back into an onside position. And now Trevor Morley down for T2. They've used all their subs, T2 has. All 5 of them, with Palacios coming on for Lowe. It's been a struggle for Ezra Hendrickson side this season to get results. Just 1 win, 7 points, last in the West. This might fall to Bijev. In the end, it was okay for Seattle. Morley back to McIntosh. Difficult ball to handle. Oh, McIntosh almost gave it away. Very lucky in the end. A nervy moment in stoppage time.
But didn't he get away with that? He looked hesitant to strike through the ball, and by the time he went to swing through and he pulled back, it was just enough to take the Sounders 2 men away from the ball.
Now Belmar coming forward. T2 have had their chances for a second. Is this it? Richards trying to find Belmar, and it's out for a corner kick for T2. Belmar tried to win another corner. Seattle did well to avoid giving up a corner. Kasipli went down. Seattle's coming forward. Richards. Now Kasipli into space for Blake Bodley. T2 tries to salt away this match. That's into touch. Seattle gets a throw. They'll try to play quick. They have to try to play quick, but maybe unable to, as Nuhu Tolo has gone down. It looks like a cramp you would expect. So Seattle playing down a man. They're out of subs. They've just got to throw everything forward. Morley sends it out to safety.
Tolo, he's pulled himself off the pitch so the team could proceed.
Samuel. Beasler rises up, rather Richards rises up to win the header. Fisher. Palacios wins the header. And that's it. The final whistle as T2 gets their first ever win over their rivals from the north. 1-0 over Seattle Sounders 2 in the first Cascadia Derby match of 2016. That's quite a morbid two-stick from the Timbers Army. But of course, the message clear that the Timbers have defeated the Sounders, their rival, the hated rival from the north. You could say, Ross, your thoughts on this performance tonight?
I thought T2 deserved the 3 points. I thought it was a good match in all. Chances on both ends, but the more chances, the bigger chances came the Timbers' way, and they would feel as though a second goal should have been at least, with the penalty certainly and other opportunities, but good ideas from both ends, and I think you're excited. If you're the parent of both clubs and you're thinking these two U.S. sides with some young talent on both teams, you're excited about the product that you've seen out there on the pitch today. But again, the quality from T2 was just a bit too much for Sounders 2 today.
Let's take a look at the highlights of this match. Only 1 goal scored, but there was plenty of action. Here was the goal, 25th minute, William Bijev.
Just the way he allows the ball to roll across his body. He knew exactly what he was doing, Bijev. He knew exactly where that ball was going to end up. And for him, it's a nice moment. I think you wanted to see a bit more of these moments. He's capable of it. He shows it there. But a great moment for him to tuck that ball away, give T2 a nice lead.
T2 certainly had more of the chances in this match. It's a great run from Blake Bodley. And William Bijev earns a penalty kick, Ross, that he would eventually put wide, but chances like that, T2 felt like they deserved more in this match.
Certainly deserved to go 2-0 up at this stage of the game, and Bijev, he'll want that one back as he sets up. He sees which way the keeper's going, and he's just trying to be a bit too precise with his placement, and in the end he catches it wrong.
This may be Seattle's best chance, especially late. Nuhu Tolo saved by Kendall McIntosh. Seattle pushed for an equalizer as this match went on, but in the end really didn't threaten much, and Ben Polk tried to make it 2 again. Charlie Lyon making the save.
Yeah, Ben Polk, he feel as though he should have tucked that one away. He does hit it straight at Lyon, but credit to Lyon, he stood tall and managed to keep his team in it.
T2's next home match is going to be played in Meridian, Idaho. That's a suburb of Boise. T2, Idaho, of course, the homegrown territory of the Portland Timbers, so T2 decided to head out on the road for one match this season to host a game in their homegrown territory at Rocky Mountain High School in the Boise suburb of Meridian. 6 o'clock start on Saturday, June 4th against Swope Park Rangers, the USL team of Sporting Kansas City. It's a beautiful night in Portland, and a great result for T2, who improved to 4-6-1, 13 points. Seattle Sounders, too, fall to 1-6-4, still 7 points, still in last place in the West. William Bijev's 25th minute goal held up T2 a 1-0 win.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.